Hey everybody, this is ALG, and I figured I'd continue how to do a Let's Play on a Macintosh series, I guess. Uh, the last episode was really more about how to do emulators and ROMs on a Macintosh, but I didn't really explain anything about my capture card and how I do editing for that and stuff. So, I don't really have a camera, ironically. So what I did, I only have the webcam that's built into the screen of my MacBook Pro. So I made a quick keynote down here, and Keynote is pretty much the equivalent of Microsoft PowerPoint. For those of you who don't know, and this is the capture card I use, the ADVC110. Very nice. Here. uh, Here's pretty much what it does, or the hookups that it has, rather. It has a FireWire 400 port, and what FireWire does, it's instant plug and play. And there are different versions of FireWire, like my Macintosh has a FireWire 800, which is a 9-pin, and apparently it's faster and more fluid. You know, I don't really use FireWire products that often, but it's really nice to have, and it is a lot better than USB 2.0. It's a huge improvement. And speaking of which, I heard they were going to come out with a USB 3.0 soon, but I can't even imagine how fast that'll be. It'll probably be as fast as FireWire 400. But anyway, we have the S-Video port. S-Video I really don't use. I bought the cord the other day to test it out, and it's more like of an adapter. So what S-Video does, it pretty much takes over the yellow plug, the video plug, and I really didn't see a difference at all. I guess if I bought like a PlayStation, well, like a PlayStation 2 S-Video, and if it's a more direct connection, I guess the video would be a lot better, but you know, my video is pretty much really good the way it is. And I have the composite AVs. So this is just your yellow for video, red for stereo, and white for audio. So pretty much plugging them both in will enable full stereo. Alright, now here's the ADVC110 on my bed, and here's everything that I have with it. Now this might look a little complicated, but generally it's really not that hard once you get what I did here. Now those three plugs on the bottom where you see the word source, believe it or not, that is where you just pretty much plug whatever system you want, like a PlayStation 3. Now this capture card is like a high def-ish type of capture card. I mean, it's more high-end than Dazzle and such. So it's going to be doing better recording off a PS2, PS3, Xbox, pretty much any DVD-ROM format. I haven't tested out N64 yet, or Dreamcast, or any of the in-betweens. They're like a step above Super Nintendo. I do know that PlayStation does not work on SoundLock. You gotta play the PlayStation game from the PS3, and luckily my PS3 can do that. If you're gonna play like older Nintendo games, I'd recommend it off the Wii. But you know, this capture card, it can't record older games from older consoles on SoundLock, because if it'll be on SoundLock, then it'll make popping noises. Alright, now basically what happens, each source, the video, the stereo, and the regular audio, they all get divided up into two. One of the signals, they go straight to the capture card, and then the other signals go into an adapter, which goes into an extender, which goes to the back of my TV. So this enables me to play video games on the TV while I'm recording on my computer. Pretty sick. And this is FireWire 800, or it's an adapter of sorts, rather. What it does, the metal part that you see to the right on the top there is a FireWire 400 plug, and then the black plastic piece that you see to the left is actually FireWire 800. So what it does, it just enables the powered bus to draw its power from my Macintosh, and I'll be demonstrating that pretty soon. Because you can either plug in like, let's see, you can plug in like an adapter if you don't have the accessibility to FireWire port, which, you know, it does because it has a powered bus, which means it draws power from your computer and use your computer's power to run it. Just be sure not to be running on your battery when that happens, because it'll be going down. We'll just X that out. And I'm using ScreenFlow to record. It's actually very nice. So basically what I wanted to do was to fire up iMovie, and iMovie is the editing application that I use. I know that I spent some time in it, but I didn't really teach you guys the specifics. So basically, I have the ADVC right here, and we're not going to just do any major thing with it. We're just going to plug it in because I want to show you something. Okay, so alright, so plug that into the FireWire, and you wait a little bit, and it's really nice. You don't have to install any software. See, it just pretty much pops up. You don't even need to do anything major. Whereas like Pinnacle, you gotta install the software and blah 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 blah. Here, it's like plug and play. It's literally plug and play, and it's much easier to use. And yeah, just leave that on as a camera. Yeah. Manual. Play, what that does, it just previews what you have plugged into it. So let's just say if I was playing Suikoden, it would just play what I have. It wouldn't really import. Alright, now here are the two most important buttons right here, import and done. I guess you pretty much know what's going to go on here. Yeah, you just do to save to Macintosh HD. I don't know where else you can save it. And you can add to an existing event in iMovie, and I'll go over what an event is later. And then pretty much what could happen, you can just create another new event altogether, and you can split days into events. I don't really analyze for stabilization because that takes like a fucking half an hour on top of compressing it, which takes like another half an hour, so I just don't do that. Now, basically what happens when you're ready to import it, either press enter or just import, and then it'll record what you have on the capture card. Now, the difference between the Canopus and Dazzle is that Canopus has a few select switches on the bottom, which include sound lock, the ability to record PAL games and NTSC games, which is a really nice feature if you're European or South American, pretty much within a PAL zone. And you can do a number of other things that I can't remember off the top of my head because I don't really use those functions other than the sound lock, which is switch 4. And sound lock is really nice. What sound lock does, it locks the sound with your video, so this way there is no lag whatsoever. You can play for hours and hours and hours on end. The Canopus will not overheat. It pretty much records everything. It's that simple. Whereas the Dazzle, you gotta plug it in with USB, and it's like, well, see, Dazzle, it's kind of similar, except it's USB. Software is required to originally install it, and I had like severe lag issues with Dazzle. I wouldn't recommend Dazzle to anyone unless if you have Pinnacle Studio, which costs like an extra $200, and it's like, what the hell, you can get the Canopus for about a little less than that, you know, for an altogether, rather than buying Pinnacle and then, well, rather than buying the Dazzle and Pinnacle Studio, you just get the Canopus. And what the Canopus does is that it records everything for you. So the audio and video, it syncs it together and it records it. Now when you're done, let's just say you're importing. when you choose done, basically what it does, it gives you like a little status bar, and what it does is it processes everything, including the thumbnails. And when that's all done, just exit and just rip it out of the FireWire 800.